Hey y'all, it's Trenton back here again. If you haven't watched my videos that I've been really just covering the recent events that have been occurring in our lives, in the world, in the U.S., what's going on currently. And if you haven't watched those videos, I'll go and link them in the corner and whatnot. But today I want to just talk some more about those events, and then not only that, I want to talk about some other things that have actually happened due to the events, such as the PlayStation 5 event being canceled, Sony in general, the riots over, and also the pandemic. I think really it's just really interesting how, if you didn't watch that video, I essentially just said that, hey, the riots are not necessarily the answer. On top of that, violence is just leading to more problems. On top of that, you don't realize violence and these lootings and these riotings, they're leading to really a lot more destruction than what we really have seen yet. Because the destruction is not only just physical, chaos and physical buildings being torn apart, but it's also lives being torn apart, and that's really what I was touching on, is that it's a lot more than just materialism. It's a lot more than just, stuff. It's about lives. It's about life. It's about humanity. It's about humans. And that's one of the biggest things that I was really trying to pick up on. I picked up on how really it's even hitting me home, because I'm in Nashville and I saw what happened, on TV, in a city that I've lived in for 17 years, and it's really sad. And really, overall, like I said, I feel like this is a civil issue that needs to be dealt with in a civil manner. Not necessarily with the looting and the rioting. That's, like I said, just ultimately going to cause more problems. And I think what's so interesting is how really, we were in this pandemic, and the coronavirus and the pandemic, whatnot. It's been it's been going on for a while now. But what's so interesting is how we just totally have just disregarded it. We don't even we literally pushed it to the side. We subbed it, totally different area. And now we're just not even social distancing. We're not doing what needs to be done. We were flattening the curve. And then, unfortunately, just, what has happened with, the George Floyd situation. And then not only that, but I think even with the protests and the riots, and unfortunately is that, the thing about the protests now, and I've mentioned this, is how even protests are becoming very risky. And that's just because we never know how a protest may accelerate a riot, or how eventually a riot will be the result of a protest. And so that's why I was kind of saying, even with the, the protests, it is kind of scary to know that protests might lead to destruction, and, it's really sad to see how these are involving, these riots are literally involving people who may just are seeking opportunity, opportunists, people that are saying, oh, I finally have a reason to do something, or I have an event that I can take my whole, I can take my steps in and I can make a move. And I think that's just incredibly shallow and disrespectful and selfish. And that's why I was saying, it just has to stop, and as I said earlier, this is not a simple just black issue. No, this is a black and white issue. This is not just black and white. This is black, Hispanic, white, Asian. It's everyone. It is an everyone issue. This is not just about black people anymore. And honestly, it never was just about black people, because at the end of the day, it's going to take all of us as a group, as a family, as the American people. It's going to take the world in order to move on from the past. It's going to take the world. It's going to take more than just the black community to make a change or to make a movement. And that's just the reality. And that's it. It's going to take a lot more than just black people. This is no longer just a black issue. And that's really all I had to say. I want to recap that, and I want to emphasize also that I wasn't just touching on the economical factor. No, I was touching on really how important life is, and how ultimately the riots, the looting, all that, it impacts life, And so, and like I said, what we need to be concerned about is human lives, humanity. And like I said, what I think is also said about this whole pandemic situation is that, like I said, we're not only causing possibly more COVID-19 cases, we're possibly going to cause more COVID-19 deaths. They're apparently probably going to spike simply because of how much we're not social distancing anymore. We were doing fine. We were staying at home. We were starting to grow as a people, starting to understand each other. And that's, yeah. And, to be honest with you, I think another sad thing is that a Vans was looted in another area. I don't know where it was, but a Vans was looted. You all don't know who actually needed those shoes. Some people who actually needed the shoes, instead of buying them, they stole them. And on top of that, another big problem is, like I said, think about the people who are going to rightfully buy those shoes, who now have had their opportunity stolen. On top of that, people you know, one guy said that, oh, we need to use violence in order to make our point across. No, we don't. Violence has never been the answer. Violence is literally a temporary solution. It is not even necessarily a solution. It's just, hey, it's like a, my mind's going out. It's a catalyst. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like something that's going to speed up the process, but at the same time, it's not the solution, ultimately. You know, the riot, violence is not the solution, right? And so I feel that, like, even a Target was looted, y'all. And think about the pandemic. People needed those resources. People absolutely needed those resources from Target. Now you've stolen them away. So what are people going to do now? They're going to have to go to other areas that have probably been looted. People are now cleaning up what CVS is. They're cleaning up this Target. It's just sad because people needed those resources. And I want to end this off with the whole, you know, Sony PlayStation thing. All I want to say is that I want to say big ups to Sony. I want to say big ups to PlayStation because here's what they said. All right. Now, I have this on a piece of paper because I'm not Kevin Gates. I don't have two phones. But they said, we have decided, well, before that, they actually put out another one, but they said this. They said, we denounce systemic racism and violence against the black community. We will continue to work towards a future marked by empathy and inclusion and stand with black creators, players, employees, and families and friends. Black Lives Matter, triangle, circle, X square. All right? And then they said this later on in the day. They said, we have decided to postpone the PlayStation 5 event scheduled for June 4th. While we understand gamers worldwide are excited to see PlayStation 5 games, PS5 games actually, we do not feel that right now is a time for celebration, and for now, we want to stand back and allow more important voices to be heard. I had to say, I just, like I said, I think that honestly, it's not that bad of an idea that they have postponed the event. I'll admit it, yes, I was very excited. I was excited to see PS5 games and everything like that. However, my thing is that, look, y'all, we have to understand that there is a bigger issue. Life is way more important than video games. And on top of that, I think another problem is that certain people are using this and they're saying that, oh, this is terrible. Forget you all, Sony. Forget you all, PlayStation. I'm switching to Xbox. Some people are saying that, oh, this is how I escape reality. But, I mean, y'all still have other video games to use to escape reality. So be thankful for that. You know, understand that, hey, it's not all about video games, y'all. Life is more important than video games, and there's plenty of time for video games, plenty of time for PS5. And so, like I said, have some patience. Like I said, Sony, PlayStation, thank you. You know, you all did something that, honestly, you didn't have to do. You know, your purpose is not to necessarily be social or be political and like this, but, hey, you all fulfilled that purpose. And so I want to say, yeah, just great job, you know. That's all I want to say. I want to say great job. The notes and the things that you said and put out, great things to say. And overall, you know, that's all I want to say, y'all. I want to say that, hey, the PlayStation 5 event, hey, it can wait. It's good that Sony did what they did. And on top of that, hey, just, y'all, we have to understand that there's other solutions. There's other ways to ease down these tensions, these problems in our societies and in our areas, in our lives. And look, looting, you know, robbing areas, malls, and all, it's not the answer. But, you know, overall, y'all, it's Trenton Moore back here again. I'll see y'all later. Peace.